So I just got done watching the Michigan. Well, hold on a second. I actually did not watch uh, the second half of this game. I went back and watched highlights after the game was over because I know we sort of had a comeback tonight. I turned the game off after they scored. Penn State scored their third touchdown, thinking this game is a waste of time to watch, and I'm just not gonna watch it anymore. So I turned it off. But I went back, watched highlights, and the difference that I saw in the second half is nuts. I was on the phone with my friend Steeler Dude 11 the entire time, the entire second half. I was on the phone with him, and he was just telling me what was happening because I did not want to watch it. Um, so, shout out to him for watching it for me. But from what I saw in the second half was a completely different team, just completely different. Michigan absolutely came back in this game and fought hard against the seventh-ranked team, who's undefeated at home at a whiteout, which is hard enough to win in those games. If Michigan plays like that, how they did in the second half, every week for both halves, every week, we will win games. We will win games. And big ones, too. If we play like how we did in the second half of this game, we will absolutely beat Notre Dame. Without a doubt. I just wish we could have woken up at 7:30 when the game actually started, instead of going down fast by 21. But we got that score right before halftime, and we fought very hard. Now there was 3 huge mistakes. Now there was, going into that second half, we could not make any mistakes at all, and there was 3 huge mistakes. Michigan allowed a touchdown, of course. He was wide open. You can't let that happen. This game, we could have won this game if that didn't happen, because we got down to Penn State's 3, and they were up by a touchdown, and they stopped us on 4th and 3, or 4th and goal, and the only reason we had to go for it is because they scored and made it 28-21. If they had not scored, we could have gone for a field goal and held them like we had been doing the entire second half. So there's our one mistake. Another mistake. Who was it? Josh Metellus? Lavert Hill. It was Lavert Hill. He had a pass interference call on a crucial play. It was 3rd and 11, I believe. And we had stopped Penn State. There was a penalty on Lavert Hill, and that allowed Penn State to score on that drive. So yeah, you can't let that happen either. Now, I want to talk about the refs. They were terrible, especially in the first half. They were awful. There was a pass interference call on Penn State that wasn't called. There was a push-off that they scored a touchdown on. In the end, they threw a big one to the end zone, and they scored a touchdown on that play off of a push-off. They didn't call it. There was a holding call that allowed Penn State to go really far on a play that was never called. 3 penalties that were never called. And then when we push off, of course they'll call it if we push off. And it just so happened that push-off we got also allowed us to get a huge gain of yards. And I think that was in the first or second quarter. These refs screwed us in the first half. I'm not gonna say it was as bad. I think they hired the Packers. I think they hired the Lions Packers referees from that game, because these guys were pretty darn close to just as bad as them. But of course, not a whole lot of. There was just a lot of mistakes. We made a lot of mistakes. Dropped balls. That's the third thing that we did that cost us this game. This cost us our game. Ronnie Bell. I feel for the guy because he dropped an easy score. He dropped an easy score that would have tied the game up for us. We would have went into overtime probably, and we could have won that game because the way our defense was playing. I was pretty confident in them that they could have stopped Penn State. But Ronnie Bell dropped the ball. He was in tears after he realized that he lost this game for us. And I think Ronnie Bell was... I think he was pretty good throughout most of the game. Peoples-Jones did not look very good. He had a few dropped balls as well. Nick Eubanks looked very good, though. So I was happy about that. But I don't know, man. We stepped it up way too slowly. If we would have played how we did in the second half, the entire game, we could have won this game by a couple of touchdowns, I think. But that did not happen. So, in terms of what I saw in the second half, I'm proud of the boys. I'm glad that we fought back and we didn't get blown out like I thought we were going to. I know I haven't made a video in a while. I haven't made a video in the last 3 weeks. I made a video a couple days ago, but it had nothing to do with Michigan football. I guess I can take that time now to talk about those games. Rutgers, I would think, was the first game. Because I haven't made a Michigan video since after the Wisconsin game. Rutgers, whatever. We looked great in that game, of course. It was Rutgers. Iowa, defense looked fantastic. Had like 8 sacks, 3 interceptions. That was a great defensive game right there. And then Illinois, which was pretty good from the beginning initially, and we let off a little bit, and then we came back and won by 17 against Illinois. And then Wisconsin ends up losing to Illinois today, so I guess that makes us look a little bit better. I don't know. But yeah, those are what my initial thoughts. I actually Steeler Dude 11, my friend Steeler Dude 11, and I made a video after the Illinois game. If you want to go see that, we talk about that game. Although that was from last week, and it's kind of old news at this point. But yeah, that was that. So Michigan, if you guys play like how you did in the second half, you can win big games. We are talented. We are a talented group with a pretty good defense and an offense who is improving. I think is improving. We scored more points on Penn State's defense than any other team has this year, so that's a good sign. Penn State's got a very good defense, and we pretty much manhandled them the second half. It just wasn't quite enough. So yeah, that's it for now. Thank you guys, and I'll see you guys next week for my initial reaction to the Michigan-Notre Dame game. I think we can win that game. I know the last time I made a bold prediction like that was the Ohio State game from last year, and I was wrong. But this game is, I think this game's different because this game's at home, at night. We've got to be motivated from the very beginning. We got to start fast and be motivated. Make Notre Dame wish that they never showed up. That's what we got to do. We got to look better than Georgia did against Notre Dame. We have to. And I think we can do it. I think we can. I'm getting a little bit more confidence, and I'm not a very confident person all the time. I'm very pessimistic about this team. I'm not very confident about this kind of stuff, and I don't know, that's just the way I am. I'm very pessimistic about stuff like this, and it's because oftentimes I'm right, and I just don't want to get my hopes up, and then just end up being more upset than I really was, or more upset than I want to be. But yeah, that's it for now. Thank you guys for watching, and subscribe if this is the first time you're watching me. I make Michigan football videos, and if you're a fan of Michigan, maybe subscribe. I don't upload frequently, so I'm not gonna blow up your sub boxes or anything like that. I upload maybe once or twice a week. I'm not very consistent, so maybe they'll probably go weeks on end where I'll never upload, and then there'll be a week where I'll upload like 3 times. I don't know. I don't have a schedule, but that's how I do it. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next week. Oh.